Now, our final speaker, 7-minute speaker, is a bit of a legend. He lives locally to me in Brentwood in Essex. He's the CEO and founder of Jiminny. He's going to be sharing the Jiminny journey and really... Oh, you did, didn't you? What are you going to be sharing?
I'll tell him in a minute.
Well, he's going to get up here. One thing I will say about this business is they've had a phenomenal journey in the UK and now internationally. And I've been really excited to see him grow and the journey that he's been on. So let's just have a round of applause and let him wrap up the stage.
Cheers, James. Cool. I know that Paul guy's gone, but I'm a massive Spurs fan, so I can't say that Arsenal have actually turned it around. They still might actually finish 5th, I'm hoping. Anyway, so there. Thank you, James. We love being a sales confidence partner. I think this is my 3rd time on stage, so I need some sort of hat-trick ball or something like that now that you owe me. But as James said, I was going to talk about our Jiminny journey and the milestones that we've had as a business. And I was working out this week and I decided to change my plans completely because actually every single day I'm probably like a lot of you in the coalface, building teams, trying to grow a business. And I thought we've changed so much in the last 4 or 5 months as a team in a business. I wanted to share some of those things with you that are working really well. So anything that you can take away from today that might be helpful. So I think as the guys have alluded to, unless you've been hiding under a rock, the world has changed in the last 4 or 5 months. Some of us have probably felt it sooner than others. And when things change, you must adapt. I don't know how many of you were around in 2008. I'm showing my age here because I'm nearly 40, but I know when times get tough, you have to adapt your sales process and you have to change things for sure. So I wanted to basically talk about all the things we're doing as a team that are having a massive impact on our business already, and I think are really making a difference. So first thing is I want to talk about mindset. I just want to tip my hat to James, because when did you start, James? Sales Confidence? 17. Yeah, and we started Jiminny kind of a similar time, and a lot of the time now people talk about mindset, well-being, everything like that, but I think at that time, like 4 or 5 years ago, people weren't talking about it. And if you asked me 5 years ago what makes a great salesperson, I would give you a different answer to what I give you today. You can teach talent and skill. You cannot teach mindset and mentality, or it can become a learned behavior over time. You don't wake up every morning motivated. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter who you are. You don't get out of bed every day and go, I'm buzzing. I love this, I love that. I'm going to go to the gym, I love my job. It doesn't work like that. But the great salespeople are disciplined, and they have the right mindset, and you repeat and you do it again and again and again. So a lot of the time you think about talent and skill, and we talk about that all the time. How do we make someone better? How do we make someone better? With my team, I want to prepare them mentally for the week. It's their mindset, it's their mentality, and that's sometimes talking about the good stuff. Sometimes that's talking about the not so good stuff. But for me, if there's one thing you could take away in terms of running a sales team is how are you developing their mindset and their mentality and their attitude. That's definitely a big game changer. How many of you get cold emails in your inbox? Hands up. People trying to sell to you. Yeah, I get a lot of them too. LinkedIn, whatever. One thing that I think that people talk about a lot but don't execute, and the second thing is being hyper-personalised with what you do. Pretty much 99% of cold emails I get are not personalised. Yeah, we've been talking about it for fucking years, but people still don't do it. Yeah, you still don't take the time to research. It's easier than ever to look at someone's LinkedIn, understand what they're doing on social, but we've got to the point now where on emails we get an open rate of 40 to 80%. But that's because you've got to be creative and you've got to invest the time and you've got to give your team the time to do that. I think one of the guys earlier talked about quality over quantity. Yeah, you set the expectations of your team. You've got to give them the ability to sometimes do less and more. But definitely in this market, you've got to stand out more than ever. And if you're not being hyper-personalised with how you reach out and try and engage companies in conversations, you're going to find it even harder, even tougher for sure. This is really interesting for me. I came back in January, you do your sales kickoffs, you're starting a new year, you're looking at everything, and I just changed the way we sold completely. Ripped it up, We looked at different ways of qualifying opportunities. We absolutely changed everything. And I think if you guys look over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, it's been very easy in software sales and in tech to go, oh, here's a pain that your company's got, and I've got some software that will fix it, and we'll buy a shitload of software. And maybe you've done an average sales process and you've got away with selling. Every business at the moment has 50 or 100 pains, yeah? But they've probably got 3 priorities. And if you're not a priority, you're not going to sell, basically. So for me, the biggest thing you could take away is that business has a priority in terms of what it needs to do. It might be 1, 2, 3. And if your product or your service isn't linking to solving that priority, then I don't think you're going to get the sale. So for me, there's a whole kind of mindset there in terms of not just thinking about the basic, or am I unfolding a pain? It's really like, what is the priority of that business? How many of you coach and train your sales teams? I know you talked about their winning by design and different methodologies and stuff like that. Yeah? I mean, I didn't introduce myself because I'm not really here to sell, hopefully just pass on some knowledge. But we do a conversation intelligence platform. It does coaching and feedback. That's one of many types of ways you can coach and train. So we do it a lot, right? We have to practice what we preach. But even now, whatever you're doing last year, I think you've got to double it. Yeah, because every conversation is even more important than before. Every deal everyone's fighting for, harder. It's more competitive. You've got more people to convince. The economic buyer is further away. I can go on and on and on. But one thing I'd say is definitely double the time that you're spending in training and coaching, for sure. That's one of the biggest things we've done this year. Oh, gone too far. There's lots of methodologies out there. I won't name them. I'm sure you all know them. I think really in your sales process, it doesn't matter if you have 2 people, 20 people, or 200 people. You need a methodology that you can stick to and you can hold people accountable to in terms of running a deal process. If you don't have that, whichever one you choose, whichever one's the right fit for your business, you need to be able to embed that to be successful, for sure. Last bit here. So this is something that's really close to my heart, which is being customer-centric. And what I mean by that is a few things. It means being flexible, yeah? So how can you be creative? Are you giving some months for free? Are you dropping your price on a renewal? You know, are you giving someone a longer term deal and deviating away from the rate card? You know, I've seen too many times where companies just are not flexing. You know, everyone's finding it a challenge, or it could be tough in certain ways. And I think if you're not being creative and you're not thinking about your customer and putting yourself in their shoes and letting your team come up with creative ways to maybe deviate from what was a standard process before, I think you find it a lot harder. I can give you an example where one of the guys came off a sales call this week. They've got a competitor of ours, competitor X, let's call them, and maybe they're double the price or whatever in that situation, and they won't even meet them in the middle to drop by 20 or 30% to renew. Yeah, so they're looking around and they're going to market. So your customers will leave you. They will go find something else where they can get better value, better service, better price. So that bit of flexibility for me is super important. Oh, there was a recap slide, but I gave James the slide so late, he probably hasn't put it in. Yes, that's all right. I changed it all at the last minute. No, you know, the mindset, the mentality, the personalisation, you know, the methodology, thinking about how you can be customer-centric, all of those things in the last sort of 2 to 3 months, we've ripped it up and we've changed it and we've done different things. And I can already see the impact that's starting to have with our team and our business. But hopefully those things you can take away and maybe they'll help you. Thanks, guys.